Well, I guess I made the right decision on Thursday when I basically uh, was one of the few that said, hey, if you're offering voluntary time off, VTO, I'll take it. Because something told me that yesterday, Friday, we were going to be busy. And boy, were we. I mean, honestly, and I said this to my sister when she was driving me to the bus stop. I said this to my mom, um, before we ate dinner. That basically basically the trailer stripping felt like how do I put this? It felt like it was the busiest I've seen it since I started, with this job. Now, true, temporary or not, it's been busy before, but not like this. This was basically like you knew you were getting trailers just by the fact that you saw more trailers ready to be stripped down than ever before. But that wasn't the end of it either for me yesterday, because I also had to work on trailer 172. Now, according to my sister, trailer 172 is not really connected to the store that much, to the store that much, but mostly to a variety of stores. Because it's mostly like special event, items and stuff that needs to go out. Basically, in this case, Black Friday, holiday stuff like that. So what was interesting is the last time I did 172 on my own, it wasn't that big of a deal. Just a lot of big toy Hot Wheels tracks and everything with the dragon on them, 2023 edition. I had to put in the trailer and that was it. But then yesterday, myself and a few others got put over there because of the fact that we were getting a lot coming down that conveyor belt. I mean, just a lot, just nonstop, just nonstop craziness. Anyway, that happened. But then on top of that, I'm asked to go and work trailer 62. And I'm thinking trailer 62. And I'm asked to palletize some items. So I say, okay, I'll go and do that. And I go over there, and mainly what trailer 62 is it's not even a real trailer. I mean, yeah, it's got the door you lift up in case a car, not a car, but a truck, a semi backs up and everything with its trailer. It's got the door and everything. But what it really has behind that door is a recycling area. So if you have any cans and stuff bagged up, you could toss it there. Anyway, um, I go over there because we have a conveyor belt going to that, and the conveyor belt is totally full. Like, it's getting ready. Like, basically, it's at the point that if there was a truck trailer, ready to be loaded up, there'd be plenty of items. But that wasn't the case here because, again, they had me palletize the items off that conveyor belt at trailer 62, and I ended up palletizing 2.5 pallets. Two of them I had to shrink wrap because I had to, because of the way I loaded them up. I don't want to take a chance that they're going to go, fall down. And they did thank me for that. They did thank me for doing that, as well as shrink wrapping them so they don't fall. Because let's be honest, the boxes, and I'm sure a lot of you that work in warehouses, distribution centers, that you know this for a fact. You know this for a fact that the boxes, when they come down those conveyors, are in a variety of sizes. Like, you could have a massive team lift size one that you could probably pick up on your own, no problems. Just a little, got to put a little strength into it, and then all of a sudden the next box could be a tiny little one, or one that could just fit in the palm of your hand, and everything, and you just place down on the pallet or even onto the box, the team lift box that you just put down there, or the box that requires the team lift that you just put down there. And that's kind of like what it was, with me. It's kind of like what it was with me. Sorry about that. I had to take care of something. But like I said, it was just, they had me palletizing Toilet 62, and they complimented me, like I said, on shrink wrapping it because, as I mentioned, basically, the boxes come down that conveyor belt, in different sizes. Like, one could be a team lift that you can actually lift yourself, but just barely, or with as much strength as you can. And then the other could be like a little box you hold in one hand, stuff like that. So I did that. Like I said, I did two and a half of them. Basically, shrink wrapped two whole ones, and just I finished up as much as I could with the third one. Up to what was left coming down the conveyor belt. So I went back to trailer stripping, and then I get told, "Hey, you're gonna spend the rest of your shift," and I think this is after our last break. He says, "You're gonna spend the rest of your shift going to stripping. I mean, not stripping, but going to shipping." So he tells me I'm going to do shipping now. So I'm going to have doors 131 to 173. Now, what's interesting is the doors in between 133 and up to I think 141 are completely a non-factor because they're the kind that just are utilized for transporting, items or storing items that are needed around the warehouse, or the need to be utilized to transfer important stuff to the other stores or other warehouses. So I did that for the rest of the shift, and like I said, I could tell you that I probably made the right choice, and I'm sure, and I didn't say this to anybody at work, but I'm sure those that I worked with yesterday probably looked at what was going on today and are like, man, maybe we should have took that, that offer to do VTO, to do voluntary time off on Thursday, because they could have rested up a lot more and enjoyed their day and all that, and then come back the next day and basically be like, okay, time to go to work. Because, like I said, I had a feeling it was going to get busy. It was just like one of those weeks to where you knew, you might get VTO, but it probably, barely be, probably basically barely, show its face. And if it does, it's a good chance it might happen, but then that's it. Well, that was kind of what this week was because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we worked, and Friday we worked. Thursday was the only day it was a little off, and here's why it was a little off. On Wednesday, the one of the front end one of the first shift managers basically called us into a little huddle after lunch, and he said that, hey, this is what's going to happen, and he announced, that they were going to offer VTI. Now, I can honestly tell you right now that the reaction on everybody's face when they found out we were all going to be huddled up for this little meeting after lunch, I guarantee you the first thing that was going through their mind, because I was even thinking it, but I knew it probably wouldn't happen, was VTO. That was the first thing going through their mind. It was, again, it was going through mine as well. But I also realized that if we were going to do VTO, they would have told us either before first break or after first break. That's when they would have told us, and they didn't. They waited till after the, I think what is it, shift, not shift, a, God, I can't think of what the name is. I guess it is shift A because well, me and my sister we came in at the same time, so basically, yeah, I think it was shift A. I can't really say. Can't really say. Anyway, basically, we come back from the 10 o'clock lunch. We'll put it that way, because the other, side B, if you will, or the other side of the warehouse, they have the 10:30. They have the 10:45 lunch. basically the thing with the breaks and the lunches is we interchange them. So like last month, myself and my team of stripping and shipping and all that, the we had the 10:45 lunch, and we had the 9 o'clock break and the 1 o'clock break, and the other side of the warehouse, the Pactolite side where my sister works, they had what we have right now. Last month they had the 10 o'clock lunch. They had the 8:30 break. They had the 12:30 break, and now that's switched up to where now we have that schedule. But anyway, like I was saying, it was like immediately after we did the 10:30, basically almost immediately after we all clocked in after lunch on Wednesday, we had this little huddle, and like I said, I could tell you honestly, people, the looks on their faces were thinking VTO. And as I said, I was thinking the same thing too, but I kind of knew that may not be the case because I'm thinking, okay, it's either VTO or it's something else. Like maybe they're going to say, hey, we're going to let you guys go home earlier than 2:30 or something. It was going to be something. I'm not really sure. But anyway, it ended up being the announcement of VTI, voluntary time in, which is basically overtime. And that was it. And I think it's because they offered overtime for Thursday and yesterday, which is why on Thursday we were kind of basically very slow in certain areas because the people that had come in at 4, which is part of the VTI, basically got a head start for a lot of us on certain things. So basically it kind of made us feel a little like, like, okay, what are we going to do, for the rest of the day? And what they had me do on Thursday is basically what they had me do on Wednesday. They had me in the Amazon return section. And they had me there up until first break. And as myself and a few others, that kind of said, okay, we'll take the VTO, as we're getting ready to approach, the break room to go on break, one of the specialists, the supervisor specialist that, offered it to us in that area said, hey, it's been approved, go for it. Because what he told us basically is, he said it's a long shot, it's a wish list, that it may or may not happen, that whoever wants VTO will get it. And the thing that was going through my mind on Thursday, as I was awaiting the answer, was either we're going to get it, because he said it was a very strong possibility, or 2, he's going to announce, hey, we couldn't get it approved because there's only 3 of you, and we'll just put you guys elsewhere. Thankfully, option A was the option, and it got approved. Anyway, though that's what they had. That's what happened over the past few days. On Monday and Tuesday, excuse me. On Monday and Tuesday it was a little different. Monday they had me and this other lady who's a little older than me. I think a little older than my older sister, kind of in between, if you will, age range, if you will, probably in her 50s. I'm not really sure. Early 50s, that is. But her and I on Monday got sent over to audit, to the audit section of the warehouse, basically receiving area, to do transfer freight, which is basically transferring freight over from one trailer to the other, while somebody in the middle, the person that's worked that area mostly and knows what they're doing, is auditing, all the boxes, basically scanning them to make sure nothing's amiss, everything is right, and just go from there. And me and this lady were going back and forth. Sometimes she would load the truck, with the freight I was unloading onto the conveyor, and then sometimes I would load, and then sometimes I would load the truck, and then she would take over unloading, putting it on the conveyor, and stuff like that. And we got ahead of ourselves. We even got a compliment that, usually something like that will take most of the day, because depending on what's in there. So what happened after that is we ended up being sent over to EAS tagging, and we spent the rest of the day there. Then on Tuesday, I was doing shipping. And I think I've got this figured out now. because it seems to have been happening this way a lot. And I think what it is on Tuesdays when because after we have the team meeting and a team huddle at the beginning of the day, after we all clock in, um, we split off into groups, for our sections. And it seems to me that every Tuesday, lately, at least this past Tuesday and last week, I've been sent to shipping. So I'm kind of getting the idea that Tuesdays are my shipping days. That's what it is. And that Mondays, I'm either going to do stripping or I'm going to go with someone, or one of the supervisors. I'm going to, either on my own or with one of my coworkers, go into a new section and be trained, or basically go and work that area of the warehouse. Wednesdays, pretty much are the same things, but they're mostly stripping, is what it is. Or I think what they may do with me on Wednesdays now is put me in Amazon. Because when the guy, on Wednesday was calling out, areas for us to work in, he put me in Amazon, basically like, oh, you know what you're doing, so you're going to go there. So I'm thinking what's going to happen is during the duration that I'm there and the other seasonal workers are there, I think what's going to happen is they're going to basically they're going to assign us, certain days where we're going to work in certain areas of the warehouse. So for example, Monday I could either be shipping or doing trailer stripping, or I could be probably doing audits and EAS tagging or something like that. Could be something different. Still could be trailer stripping and shipping, but could be something different. Tuesdays definitely look like they're going to be shipping days. Wednesdays might be turning into Amazon days, can't really say. And then Thursday and Friday are basically going to be stripping. That's what it feels like. Or it could be that Thursday and Friday, Friday could be shipping, and Thursday could be either shipping or Amazon. One of the two. I'm either going to have back-to-back days doing Amazon, or I'm going to have back-to-back days doing stripping. So that's how it's been going. That's how it was this week. And, honestly, I didn't have to take the time off on Wednesday. I mean, not Wednesday, but Thursday. I didn't have to do that on Thursday, but I felt like, well, we got enough people here, and, they're offering it, I'm going to take it. And, when I go on here on YouTube and I watch videos on it, some of the videos I've watched are not negative about it. Some are saying there's pros and cons, but that's only because of the VTO that gets offered in warehouses like Amazon. Because VTO, from what I understand, differs from company to company, with the distribution centers. So ours is basically the kind that gets offered, and everything because of, the dependency on, having work. So yeah, on Thursday they offered it to me and myself, and I think 4 others took it, and it got approved. And so I went home, spent the rest of my day at home. Well, actually, what I did is I walked off the property and everything after I clocked out with VTO approved, and walked all the way to the Walmart. You didn't make the 9:15, 9:17 bus that I wanted to make. So instead, I went into Walmart, looked around a little bit, shopped, got a Charlie Brown ornament. It's the Charlie Brown with the little tree and all that. I got deodorant, I got vitamins, and then I got myself one of those specialty Coca-Colas that they've been putting out yearly. This one's called Y3000. So I don't know if anybody has tried that yet, but it kind of has a bit of a vanilla citrusy flavor to it. Anyway, after that, I got on the bus, came home, and just relaxed for the rest of the day. Even took a nap before my mom came home because I was that tired and all that. I mean, I thought I'd be able to stay up a little bit, but nope, I was just tired. I think I got too relaxed to the point that even now when I'm on the bus, I'm kind of starting to nod off a little bit. And, yeah, that's how much work gets to you, especially if you're working on only maybe about 5-6 hours sleep and all that, or 4.5 hours sleep, even if you took a nap for like a couple of hours beforehand, earlier in the day. But yeah, it's been an interesting run so far, going on 2 months. Within a week, within a couple weeks. I mean, it's the 14th now, so in about 14 days, believe it or not, it will be two. It will be 2 months. Not really sure how much longer I'll be there. Pray, give, put up a prayer for me that myself and the other seasonal workers become permanent, maybe on a part-time basis. So, so that we don't have to, go and apply for unemployment again. So, we could just keep working. But yeah, it's been one of those interesting weeks to where it's like, you know, you, you just don't know what's going to happen when you get to work. Like I said, you just don't know what's going to happen when you get to work. And what's funny is I was telling myself this the other day after I took the VTO, and I was walking to the bus stop or the Walmart anyway. And I was thinking to myself, basically, there are times that, if you live with family, if you live with your parents or your wife or whatever, and they work, and they have to travel a distance to work or whatever, sometimes they'll come home, depending on their job, and they, like you, they will be tired and everything. And I was thinking to myself, the first time I did VTO, outside of the power outage deal, because that's what caused VTO for mostly everybody that time several weeks ago. But I think it was on the second time I did VTO, and it's almost like, and maybe it was just me, but it was almost like, I was trying to help out. I was trying to do something. I didn't. I may have said something wrong, but I didn't mean to. And my mom got, a little upset because and she was tired. So she was tired. So, she was, and she was tired, and she was the kind of tired that basically you say the littlest thing that you don't mean any harm with, and it'll settle off. But I don't know. I've always got this feeling that I think she was a little mad, like a little envious at the fact that I got to go home early. And I think the reason she was that way, in my opinion, was mainly because, she had to get up early to take me to work. Like, she doesn't, like, outside of working for Kohl's on a regular basis, she doesn't get up until after 5. That's it. Now she has to get up a little, an hour before and all that, and she doesn't like that. So, so it made me wonder if maybe, that's why she got a little upset the second time I told her I did VTO, and everything, because I think she and like anybody that, probably knows of, probably lives with their family member that has that at their job. I think she's a little envious, a little jealous. But that's just my opinion. But I was thinking about that on the way, and everything, because it's like, could you really blame her, for feeling that way? It's like, you know, here she is getting up early to take me to work, and all of a sudden, a few hours later, I'm back home. It's like, what was the point, right? It's like, what was the point? I mean, and I can tell she kind of is a little envious, a little jealous of that, or a little like, like, a little bit like, really, couldn't they have told you ahead of time? Because she asked me sometimes, ever since that's happened, or do you know if they're gonna let you go home today, early? And I'm like, I don't know. I won't know till I get there. So, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's one of the situations about VTO. If you live with family or whatever, that you have to deal with, that they might be a little envious and jealous, of that, even if their job offers it, but offers it differently. But overall, the work, the week, I will say, the work week went by fast, and I appreciate that. And yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next week. I, I honestly don't think we're gonna get VTO next week. I don't think we'll get that offered because the way Friday looked and everything, and even throughout the week except for Thursday, yeah, we're picking up now. We are definitely picking up for the holidays, and the more we pick up, the more, opportunities we get to work, not just in our area, but in different areas. And the faster the day goes, in my opinion. But that's all I have to say, guys, on this vlog and everything, audio vlog. Let me know what your thoughts are, and until then, I will talk to y'all later. Let me know if you guys have dealt with something like, these kind of things at your job, depending on what it is, in the comments in the live chat as well. But until then, talk to y'all later.